Welcome to the ultimate indie horror game tier list. Me and my buddy Dan went through over 150 indie horror games, ranking them on just their overall goodness, and we had a lot of fun doing it. So let's see where we put your favorite game, and hopefully you won't be mad at us. Alright, 123 Slaughter Me Street. You've seen it, but haven't played it, right?
I didn't realize this is a game that's been out forever. I've only been seeing it on Twitter, so I have no idea. I don't know this game, but I know I'll be streaming it soon, I guess.
There's even a sequel, 123 Slaughter Me Street 2. But 123 Slaughter Me Street, I think it was like one of the first games after FNAF that people compared to FNAF without actually being FNAF. So the story is like, okay, you're a thief and you're going down this abandoned building, but as you're going down, you get attacked by puppets, right? So each level gets repetitive and it just builds on itself. And it just gets harder, but there's only 3 puppets, right? So by the time you reach floor like 8 or 10 or whatever it is, you're like, okay, it's just the same thing, but harder. But it doesn't really have a lot of good replayability. It's good for like a couple hours in the afternoon. I am thinking B level, just because I'm thinking C as like, okay, this is your typical humdrum indie game that you just pull off of itch.io or GameJolt, right? But I feel like this is just like slightly above that. It's not A. It's not A. It's not like, it doesn't have that replayability. It's scary until it's not, like most horror games, right?
Right. Yeah. It goes for a while and then it gets frustrating or angry or easy.
Yeah.
On rare occasions.
It's got some things that you can go in and collect, but it's just like, I don't know if it even unlocks anything. You just search for like little memorabilia pieces and that's it. And that's the replayability, but you're replaying the same level. So yeah, I would say B for that one.
Great.
Okay.
Love it.
7 days?
Not a clue.
No idea.
I promise that like one of these games I'm going to know and soon, but until then.
Yeah, fair warning. You know, this is a giant list of 150 indie games. And I know between the two of us, we know a lot, but there's going to be plenty that we don't know. Like A Day in the Office, any idea?
Not a clue.
Not a clue. Akamanto?
I feel like I saw... Did Markiplier play it? I feel like I saw someone play it.
I know I've seen it before, but I can't even remember the gameplay. So, I since I can't remember it, we're going to have to put it in the never watched.
Yeah.
Almost Home Now. Did I play Almost Home Now? I'm so sure that I did in one of my 3 random games. I might have to come back to it because I might have to search for that one.
Yeah, you could. Hey, put a little pin in that. Just stick a little pin in that.
Stick a pin in it because I think that it would end up being C if it's the same game that I think of.
Okay,
but we're gonna have to see. Alone.
That one I'm also unfamiliar with.
With. I don't know. Okay, Amanda the Adventurer.
Great game.
Thinking about the full game itself. As a whole, I'm thinking at least A.
I'm good with A.
I'm okay
A for
with
Amanda.
Sure, yeah.
I'm learning.
That logic. No, that's fine. Because I think we're going to have to start teasing out like what S and A will actually be. Because S is like God tier, must play. Mm-hmm. Amanda isn't quite that. But it's like, you should definitely play it. Like, I think it's fantastic. It's creepy, but not terrifying.
Yeah, and I love the puzzles and everything. I almost wish there was a bit less linearity to it, because even though you could, like, do different things, there still felt like you did this way, and then this way, and then this way.
Absolutely.
You know, like, if you play Undertale, it's like you do a neutral route, then a pacifist, then a genocide, or, you know, flip it. But like, it's still fairly linear.
Yeah. And I would say it has a pretty good, it's linear, but with replayability, because there's a lot of little hidden secrets that are worth it to go seek out, you know, with the extra endings, with like the extra woolly dialogue. Okay, let's just say A, and we'll see everything falls. Maybe it'll move up to S. But it's pretty good. I never played Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
You've never played Amnesia?
I've never played it, but, you know, you hear so much about it. So it came out during an era that I was, like, terrified of anything horror-related, so I didn't even touch it, right?
This was my first, like, besides PT, this was the first horror game I ever, like, did for my channel.
What are you thinking where it should go?
Like, here's the thing: is I think there's a temptation to put it like S tier because of like what it did for the community and everything.
Right.
I think it could have been spookier. Like in retrospect, I don't feel like it had me on edge as much as it could have, and I don't know if that was just a rare occasion where, hey, for once, Dan was good at the game. Don't know. I would definitely put it A tier. I'll tell you that.
I think from everything that I've heard from like its community, I think at least A tier is appropriate, but I don't have a dog in the fight here because I've never actually played it, which I think is a travesty. I'm sure a lot of people will feel. So definitely A, I think.
Yeah, I think that it would be S if we also included like the extra stories and everything else into it, but it's kind of not fair to the rest of the group.
No, absolutely. Among the Sleep. So I remember watching a full playthrough of Among the Sleep years ago, like years upon years ago, because I think this was like pre
Same.
2015 or 2014. Because to me, everything is like what's pre FNAF and what's post FNAF, and I think this was pre FNAF.
Yeah, I know. I have my my browser open up too, and I'm just like going in to go peek it to see if I remember what it is.
Right.
Oh, it's the one where you're the baby.
Yeah, because I remember it. You're the
Yeah.
baby, and you go through, but I don't remember the actual game. And it's so funny that I'm seeing a lot of YouTubers now going back and replaying Among the Sleep now. I
Yeah.
don't know why, but it makes me want to go and like play it because I've never actually played it myself. I don't know if I feel comfortable putting it anywhere. I know it's going to be above C, but I don't know where it should fall.
I am comfortable slapping it on a B.
That's what my gut would say. It would be. I think it would be above. I think it would be above 123 Slaughter Me Street though. Andy's Apple Farm. Okay, so I'm almost biased because I haven't eaten my apple today, but I think today is like number 579 of eating an apple until chapter 2 comes out.
Oh my god.
It's just part of my life now. Like on my to-do list, it's always like first thing, hey, make sure you get your apple tweet in today.
You know what? I admire the dedication.
I love long, stupid things like this. But where it falls, I like it. I like the creepiness of it. I like the lore that M36 Games is building. I as much as I have dedicated my life quite literally to this game, I don't think that it falls to the level. It's not S.
Oh, it's definitely not S.
Part of me wants.
I mean, I hate to go like, oh, definitely not S, but it's not.
It's not C either. Like it's above your typical indie game that you just pull. It resonated with the community, at least to some regard.
Yeah, I personally, for me, I feel like it is a B because it really feels like as far as gameplay is concerned with it, it's pretty simple in like I'm trying to say it doesn't break any new ground when it comes to gameplay. It breaks a lot of ground when it comes to like how to tell the lore, how to tell a story through a game. See, definitely, I'll give it that.
That's the piece right there that gets me. That would be the reason why it would even be considered for A. But I'm okay with agreeing with the level B. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Ao Oni. Did you ever play Ao Oni?
I never have.
So I played it. Is it appropriate? Because I never played Witch's House, and I think that's on this list too. But I think I could compare it a little bit to like the style of Witch's House or Mario the Music Box, where it's just
RPG Maker.
It's it may be RPG Maker, but it's an RPG style thing where you move around and abandoned building. Oh my god, there's giant purple things after you. So to a level, it's kind of goofy, and it's a full game. You know, they put effort into it, not like these My Little Pony RPG Maker 2-second games that are just thrown together, and it's just a whole weird conglomerate of what the hell. It's either C or B. I don't think it holds up as well today, but I don't remember like the story very much. I would be okay. Oh man,
I can roll a dice. I have dice on my desk.
What are we thinking?
That's a 6.
That's high. That's a B. We'll go at least maybe like
I
a
mean,
low
it's
B.
on a D20. So
it's on a D20.
Low.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got the big dice right now.
Oh, I got the big boy dice.
You know what? I'm gonna. Oh, well, we have D and F. Tell you what, I'm gonna leave it at C, and then if we feel like we need to move it up, depending on like what falls where, we'll have like moments where we'll just like rearrange
of
things.
Course.
Orangenese?
Not a clue.
Give me a dictionary. At dead of night.
I watched Markiplier play this, and I think, like, from what I saw, it's a really fascinating point and click. Sort of, if it is exactly what I'm thinking of. Oh God, Dan, are you being a dumb?
It's almost like playing through a little bit of a movie.
Yes. Yeah, okay, so it is that one. Yeah, I really like the concept and how the game, like, the gameplay is.
Everyone I've talked to who's actually played at dead of night are screaming their head off even halfway through the game. I think it comes off as maybe a little too difficult from what I've seen. I think the AI is pretty smart, and it might try to like trick you when you're like hiding, you know, and then it comes out and then all of a sudden you got like a giant, you know, bald dude with an axe in your face. I think it does a lot. I'm okay with putting it at a B level, but I wouldn't mind if it ends up being like a low A.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. Yeah. I'm on board.
Did you ever play the Bad Dream series?
No.
I have very fond memories of the Bad Dream series. So this was a series that it was point and click puzzle-ish, and it wasn't terrifying or like really scary, but it was just absurdly creepy. Like the puzzles had to do with, hey, you found a severed finger. The severed finger goes on the skeleton who really likes severed fingers, you know? So it had those kind of like weird puzzles, like, hey, you have to take this scissors and cut something you really don't want to cut.
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. And I really dig that a lot. And
sure.
Bad Dream Coma, I played the Bad Dream series. There was like 5 or 6 games that I played, and then we were waiting on Bad Dream Coma to come out, and I didn't realize it ever came out. So Bad Dream Coma itself, I don't know, but it was supposed to be like bigger and better than the other ones. So this may be one of the few cases where I have to say, like, I'm kind of basing it off of just the feel of what Bad Dream is. I think it's a fine C. I think it's a fine, solid C.
Sounds good.
And that's,
I'm looking
that's
at the
me being a little
screenshots right
conservative about it, yeah.
Ooh, God, it's just,
it's creepy and gross, and I love it!
Yeah, well, it's definitely creepy and gross. It certainly is.
If we're comparing it to, like, just personal, like, how much I just enjoyed, like, playing through the series, I would rate it higher, but that's not what we're doing through this tier list. We're comparing to everything else. Balivore.
Nope.
No idea.
This is just Dan and Sam look at future streams and videos.
I mean, there's probably going to be a few of these that the comment section is going to be like, why have you never played this? You should play this. Go play this. So
yeah,
maybe that'll be something like, you know, Dan and Sam plays through all the games that they've never played before from this giant tier list. Baldi's Basics Plus.
I've only played a little bit of it just to kind of see. I saw it played to death.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
I think it's okay. I think it's like a C.
You would put it at a C.
Maybe I'm wrong here. Hold on.
I think it was way too hard. Honestly, prevented me from even considering Baldi's Basic Plus, because now that I think about it, I don't think I ever played it, and I was trying to think, why did I never play it? I think it was because it took me so long to beat the original game, but I loved the whole edutainment feel of the game.
The theming of it is really, really good. I gotta give them that, but like there's just also, you know, it does get too ridiculous and too hard.
I agree. I do agree with that. You said C?
I think C. The more I think about it, the more I think C.
I'll put it in C. I'm okay with putting it in C. People can be mad at us. That's fine. The original Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Yeah, there's a lot to like unpack for Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Yeah.
Like the first chapter I thought was super unique just
Yeah.
because you get to like see everything.
Sure.
And then chapter 2 was pretty good.
We don't talk about chapter 3, Dan. We don't talk about chapter 3. Ugh. Chapter 4, the boss battles, great, solid. I don't know why they didn't put more of those in. And then chapter 5 felt like it petered out into like a weird, like, wait, what is the lore? What happened? Okay, whatever.
Yeah, it really felt like as it was coming out, it did kind of feel like they didn't know the ending or where it was going until they got there and had to make a decision.
I thought,
yeah,
I thought they just went with the whole just interpret the ending for yourself because it's which I hate. Just tell me what the ending is. Just bring it all together. Yeah. So, but there are good chapters, and the idea of Bindi being kind of like its own Mickey Mouse in that world, I like.
I'm comfortable putting it in at the top of B or bottom of A.
It feels more like a B to me. Just because of chapter 3 and chapter 5 to me.
Sure. Yeah. I would say let's stick it at the top. It's a B+.
Big Larry. I'm putting that D. Because Big Larry was a big old hot mess. I broke the game. Oh, it's like a high school mascot that's, things have gone wrong. There was a murder and then whatever. It's not a good game and it lasts way too long, but it's a good old time if you want to have a laugh, Because there's a one section where you have a basketball shootout with Big Larry. It's like, why? Okay, I've played Bigfoot, but I didn't really like it. Because it's about...
I watch Bigfoot.
Yeah, it's about hunting Bigfoot.
It looks like a fun game if you have your buddies.
It's great when you have your buddies because you're just wandering the woods for about 45 minutes before you have a sighting of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Because it really does feel like you're out there hunting, and the gameplay... It's one of those things that's like, the game kind of throws you in, and you gotta like kind of discover what you have to do. Right?
Right.
And like the more you play, the better you get at it, but it really depends on... Like, it takes a lot to take down Bigfoot, too. Like, you're going to have several run-ins with him unless you're, like, a pro or something. I've never seen someone, speedrun it,
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I think I like the idea. I would put it D. I don't like it.
That's fair. I can't argue a better score for it because I've only watched it and it seems like it's one of those you need to play to understand. So D's good.
Now, this next one is funny and I've never played it. So it's going into the never played, but I accidentally downloaded this when I was first trying to get Garten to Banban because I didn't know what, no one knew the game, but I knew it was somewhere and I typed in Bon because that's how I pronounce it. And I got this rat-looking thing. I'm like, this doesn't look right, but maybe it is. And I downloaded it, and it's like, oh, nope, it's not. But okay, whoops. But so never played, never watched. But apparently it's on this list, so people knew it to some extent,
I'm looking ahead. I don't see Garten to Banban on this, but...
I noticed that too, and it's not there. And maybe... Because I do have an idea for another tier list that's like strictly looking at mascot horror games, and so that might have to be a whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because clearly S tier.
That's the thing, because if we're looking at the game one, it's like either a D or an F. I would say arguably maybe a D, because I think there's more hot pieces of trash that should deserve F more than it, despite what Garten of Banban offers. Garten of Banban 1, since we're talking about just the first one, I would maybe say D.
I would definitely put it D.
All right.
Definitely.
So just for people wondering.
For you that are wondering, Banban's a D, just based off the first game.
I love Bonnie's Bakery. I love the feel. I love the whole everything's innocent until it's not. Do you ever play the DLC?
I've never played.
You've never played. So it's one of those like, hey, everything's cute and arguably kawaii. you're just making some pastries and like, little meat pies, and then Bonnie's getting all of her ingredients from the local residents who are animals. Oh no, and keeping them in their basement. So.
Oh no.
And then the DLC, you actually play as Bonnie and actually go get your ingredients, if you know what I mean. Overall, I like it, and I think it's at least B. It may not be quite A, but it's pretty solid. It's good.
Yeah.
It is good. And that's with me including the DLC, because the DLC feels like another game, but it's all part of the same game.
Interesting. Okay.
If it was alone, then maybe C, because it's pretty simplistic. The DLC makes this a B, I think. I didn't realize Boofy's bunker was on here.
S.
I didn't realize Boofy's bunker was on here. Oh my god.
S.
Oh my god.
Jay's gonna hate us for saying that. But
if I am speaking objectively, I really like it. The scope of the game, I think, is a lot more ambitious than a lot of other indie games out there.
Yeah.
So arguably speaking, it's not S.
Definitely not, but
I wouldn't, because I'm trying to, because here's the thing, both of us know the developer, and so part of that is kind of hard to like tease that out a little bit, because I feel biased, because I love Jay and I love the game. Oh man.
I will here. So I recently played it.
Okay.
And experiencing it again, like, it's a B. It's a solid B. There's some balancing issues in there, and the maze still exists. And that's the problem.
The garden maze is, I appreciate how it's randomly generated, but also it is a lot, especially when it gets to like the extreme modes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's the worst.
Yeah. Burger and Frights, you ever play that one?
I watched that one, I believe. I thought it was okay.
I think it's anywhere between a D and a C when you compare it to these other games.
Yeah.
I think it falls in the D spot. Like it kind of has a twist ending, kind of, but it is like it's a horror game. You pull it off and you forget about it the next day that you played it.
Yeah.
It's good for a good 20 minutes. So I think I'm okay with Burgers and Frights there. D. Yeah. Did you ever play Close Your Eyes?
I watched Markiplier. A lot of these is going to be, I watched Markiplier play. I saw Markiplier play this one. I thought it was a neat concept, but like, it is so all over the place.
Yeah.
It's really hard to follow. Like, there's cryptic, and then there is like, what is happening?
That's fair. I only saw like that people had played it, and I actually downloaded it myself in preparation to play it, but then I got distracted with other things, and then I decided, it's fine, maybe I won't play it. But so where do you feel? It sounds like there are issues with the game. It kind of sounds like it's a D.
It's either a high D or a low C. I would put it high D.
I would, because it's almost saying like C is like, yeah, okay, solid game. And then D is like, it could have been a solid game, but there's some things wrong with it.
There's some issues.
Right.
Yeah.
Creepy Tale.
Nope.
No idea. Dark Deception.
Dark Deception's good.
I have to say at least A. At minimum A. Now, if we're talking about like the very first chapter that ever came out, right?
Yeah.
It's probably like a B, and that's it. Maybe even a C. Probably a C if it was just talking about that. But by the time we've reached, because we're on chapter 4, chapter 5 is about to drop. Chapter 4 really expanded the lore and like actually gave, 3 did it too. It has depth now.
Yeah, my only thing with, and we talked about this when I streamed it, is that with chapter 4, they dump a ton of lore on you, and they dump a lot of like, hey, guess what? I can't swear, can I?
We can believe
you're poopy. You're so poopy. You're such a poopy poop head, you poopster. And I'm like, okay, wow, I don't want to play because I don't root for myself. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. I think they could have developed the lore early and then expanded and made it
Mhm.
so that you're getting little cutscenes in between more so than how much was dumped upon you.
Yeah.
Including some of the like the later portals as they got more ambitious, which awesome because they're nailing it with few bug issues, but whenever you release a game like that, you know, there's
There's
bugs
going to be
that
bugs.
you squash them, which they're again Glowstick's doing a good job on, you know. So
Mhm.
there's always, you know, some wiggle room there. So I'm not holding it against them at all. Um, but a lot of the portals were ambitious, but now they're so far above like the monkey or Agatha's portal,
Yeah.
right? So like it may take like a solid 2 hours to get through a portal. Like Mama Bears, oh my god, that's a whole event in like 2 boss battles. And the
Yeah,
monkeys is just like you
that
go
one's
through
a
it.
big part of the game.
Right. So I'm gonna put it at A. I'm gonna put it at A. Because even with the issues we're saying, these issues are nitpicking, quite frankly.
Yeah, what I'm thinking, what I'm stopping and like asking myself, is it above Bendy and the Ink Machine? For me,
Yes.
personally, yes.
I would say yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I
fair.
think
Benny and the Ink Machine is actually a pretty good like who is the gatekeeper for getting into A, and I think Bendy is a decent gatekeeper for that.
yeah, no, I agree.
Maybe Baldi's Basic should be the gatekeeper for C. Darkwood, I know I've seen the name, but I have no idea.
I've seen like I saw a Markiplier play it.
There you go.
Is it hold on, is it Dark am I thinking of Darkwood or Gloomwood? Okay, yeah, this is an easy A
What? Really?
for me.
Really?
It's an easy A.
Okay.
I've been wanting to play. It's dark, it's creepy, it's a fantastic survival game.
Okay.
There were some critiques on the ending
Okay.
of it, but like it's a dense game and it looks and play well, I can't talk to the gameplay. I can only say what I've observed, but it looks really, really good. So I definitely think A.
About
sure.
how long is the gameplay? Oh, it's a whole thing.
It's long. It's a whole thing. It's a big game.
Interesting.
Oh, it's on the Nintendo Switch.
Dan, I've never played Dead by Daylight.
I've watched so many of my friends played it. And I feel like we've played it vicariously through Dave.exe.
Dude, exactly. There's a lot of games that I've played that are similar to the style of Dead by Daylight. Oh, you go over, fix this generator, and leave before the thing kills you.
Yeah.
People love it. People like dive in like harder than I dive into Final Fantasy 14. Like people are in this game.
I honestly, I would put Dead by Daylight right behind Amnesia in A.
I'm okay with that because I do feel that in a lot of cases, the community response is usually a good indicator for like the generality, especially for games that we don't personally know.
Sure.
Know?
Yeah. No, I see what I'm picking up what you're putting down.
And speaking of multiplayer games, you ever played Dead Realm?
I did. I loved Dead Realm.
I regret not dipping into Dead Realm before. Servers are down now. I think it's done. This is a done game, right?
Yeah, no, it came out before its time.
I think so.
You know what I mean? Like this came out and it was such a unique play. You know, the whole like asymmetrical gameplay.
Yeah.
One's the spooky ghost, the others are trying to avoid it. Like it plays really well. And if I remember right, this was oh my god, the guys that were behind it, it was
someone. That's what I was.
Nanners.
It was. I knew it was a YouTuber behind it.
Yeah, like he and a couple of his buddies put this together, and it's awesome.
Right.
I'm comfortable putting it at B. I would put it at an A, but the problem is like when it came out, the support for the game didn't feel like it followed.
Yeah, it looked scary. It looked scary, like when it got.
Oh, the jump scares were great.
Why don't we take a moment and let me search for Almost Home now, because that's been sticking there for a while.
Yeah, you need to solve that, man.
Yeah. It was in a 3 random games that I played. And if it is what I'm thinking, it's probably going to go in D. it had a cool idea, but it's just that's all it was. It was just the idea that it just was. It's a bit of a walking simulator, and then oh no, you're kind of being stalked, but you're the one stalking the Japanese schoolgirl walking home.
Oh.
But that's it. It's a lot of just like you're watching, but you're playing as the schoolgirl walking, but the camera angle is like you're the monster, and then at the end you kind of chase her, and then that's it. So I do think it is a D if it's what I'm thinking of, and I'm just going to check that right now.
While he's doing that, hi. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you subscribe, that actually buys you a pass to the fun zone. The fun zone is not creepy at all.
I don't, Dan, I don't want to go to the fun zone.
No one wants to go to the fun zone.
Okay. Well, that is exactly what I described. So, yeah, I think that's a solid D. So now, okay, good. I'm glad we got that out of the way.
I feel better.
I feel so much better. Deceit. I don't have any idea.
I don't either. I don't remember it.
Deep Fog.
Never played.
Demon Child.
Never played.
What about Detention?
I vaguely remember playing it and thinking it was meh.
Yeah.
I thought it looked okay.
Okay.
I'm also don't mind putting it never played or watched because I cannot recall.
I have absolutely no idea, so I'm going to have to put it here in the never played, never watched, unless you feel strongly about it going somewhere.
Nope.
All right, cool. Devour, I'm torn. I'm very torn on Devour. It's a game that you got to play with friends.
Right.
To even attempt to beat at all.
Weren't we talking about potentially playing it at one point in time?
Yes.
Maybe? Yeah.
Potentially. I've played it several times with some other YouTubers back in the day, and I had a really good fun time doing it, but just thinking of the base game, because it's one of those games you have to play with other people, so I'm kind of comparing it to Bigfoot. It's definitely better than Bigfoot because there's always more going on, and there's more stuff to do constantly, which is a huge plus.
Maybe C?
I'm okay with putting it at C. I think there are some issues with it, but every time they do come out with like a new iteration of Devour, because it's Devour, I'm forgetting all like the little like not side games. I can't even remember if they're like separate games or just like DLCs. I think they're DLCs.
There was like different maps and stuff, right? Different.
Yeah. But okay. as a game that requires you to play with other people and is very hard to beat, I think C is fine. Okay, I've heard really good things about Do You Copy?
I've never played.
Doki Doki Literature Club, what are your thoughts?
I feel that if we don't put it in A, Jerica will kill me.
Dude, it's at least A.
Are you bold enough to put it in S? I don't know if I'm bold enough to put it in S. I'm confident in putting it in A.
I'm very confident in putting it at high A. It's such a good game.
It is really good, but it is a very slow burn.
It's a slow burn, but you got to like dig into, because it is a story. And the story, when you get into, do you ever play the DLCs for it? Like the DLC side stories?
I never got around to playing the side stories.
When it gets so much deeper, because I played it on the PlayStation 5 a few years ago when it like was released for for console, and they actually made it so that, you know, because you're on your computer, and to even like complete the game to its fullest, you have to go into your computer's file, right?
Yeah.
But how do you do that on the console? Because it has the same ending, it's the same story. They actually make it so that when you open up the game, you're opening up a computer. And you have to move your mouse around to like go and even like open up like your little file and like for like the side stories and get to little pieces. So that, I think the console version in some ways is very interesting. It does a good job making a very intricate PC game into. I'll put it at high A. I'll put it at high A.
High A.
Because I do think there are some that are even better that should go S, but if it was up to me, I might say S. So if Jerica's watching, and I know she is,
of course
just know that Dan prevented me from putting it in A. Or S, excuse me.
You mean S?
That's fine.
How dare you?
Dread Delusion looks goofy.
It is essentially Skyrim, but creepy. It is very good. I haven't like dived back in a while. It
Yeah.
was something I really wanted to play outside of when I was done streaming. It's like I kind of just want to keep playing.
Yeah.
I'm good at putting that in an A. I think it deserves more recognition than it has. Like, it is a little underrated.
Duck Season.
I've played it. S tier.
Is it S tier? Okay, I may have to play it then.
I will confidently put it in S tier. It is one of the best VR games you can play.
So, and maybe people have asked me, like, why don't I play VR games on my channel anymore? It's because, like, I can't go 30 minutes without feeling sick. And so I downloaded Duck Season with the plan to, like, play all the way through it. But every time I was, like, maybe getting ready to, like, set up my VR, I was like, I don't know, what if I get sick? And so that's what prevented me. But maybe I'll suck it up. I need a new VR headset anyway, so maybe this will be... like a good one to jump back in as a throwback.
Oh, definitely. It's also, you are stationary, so it isn't as like motion sickness inducing than other games.
Okay.
If you get motion sickness easily, still, like, pop a Dramamine. I honestly stand by it being S. And good lore.
And that's a lot. That means a lot coming from you.
Oh, yeah, that does not come lightly. They do have a version that doesn't need VR. But I highly encourage
But you highly
VR
encourage the horror that is horror in VR.
Yeah, VR. Hey, VR be creepy out here.
Do I know Dying of Thirst? Hold on. Dying of Thirst, it's like a PS1 kind of game where you keep trying to fill your cup of water at your fridge, but then you hear a noise. What was that? Oh, the TV turned on. You turn off the TV. Okay, you start filling up your cup again. Oh my God, what is that at the window? Oh, it's something, but it's gone now. Okay, you just go back and start filling up your cup again. And then I think eventually you go to bed, and then the alien light thing kind of gets you. So definitely a D. It's one of the, it's just, that's all it is. It's you go, you get up, you fill a cup of water, nothing is explained, you just go to bed and then you die. So is this F?
We have the first S and the first F.
I'm okay with it being F because you get up, you get a glass of water. Like, it doesn't do anything. This is the gatekeeper of F. Of D.
Okay, great.
That, and I'm okay with that. I think I can stand by it. The first Emily Wants to Play.
I think that's solid C.
I think it's solid C as well.
It's good. It's spooky. I hate the little ventriloquist doll that charges at you. Absolutely awful.
Yeah.
But
it's
yeah,
spooky.
Definitely good.
I think Emily Wants to Play 2 was definitely an improvement. It's one of those games like, just people attached onto it, and then the second one was a little bit better. But it, in a way, it was kind of like 1-2-3 Slaughter Me Street in that it gets repetitive. It, and then it's about things just have gotten harder, but you're doing the same mechanics of the same people. Now, it is freaking terrifying. It is scary. Which, yeah, I'm okay with it being a C.
Yeah, let it be C. Let it be C, because I do think, like, I know we're not ones to point out graphics, but definitely, like, as far as, like, aesthetics and making things look nice, I think it could have been better.
No, that's fine. If we're putting Emily Wants to Play at C, and C has started to, like, fill up with, okay, this is kind of like what we're looking at the standard for C. Like, I was almost thinking, like, D would kind of be what C was, but obviously we've lowered that. I think 1-2-3 Slaughter Me Street then would actually be in the C. Still love the game, but I do think when you look at everything, it needs to move down a little bit. Did you ever play Eerie?
Nope.
No idea. Did you ever play Escape the Ayuwoki?
I watched a bit of it. It looked super spooky.
I hated it. I didn't like it. I never, because the first time the game came out, it was a demo, right? And the demo was just kind of whatever. And it was like all the assets pretty much are just like the house itself, the mansion. I've played through so many games that uses the same mansion. So that in and of itself was like, whatever. And then when the full game came out, I don't know, man. It was just too hard for me. And it was hard enough that I'm like, I'm not going to spend my life doing this. I didn't like it. Other people liked it. And funny enough, because this is a Michael Jackson horror game, I ended up on Michael Jackson fan pages as a YouTuber to hate. as well as a lot of other people did. So that was fun.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, that's not a joke either. There like
Huh.
there was like because I was tagged as like a person to hate on like Michael Jackson fan pages because I played this game. So
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I think there was a lot of problems with it. I'm gonna put it at a D. Some people I think who played the entire game maybe would put it at a C. I don't know how the game ends. I don't know, but it's a D. It's a D for me, man. I never played Evil Nun though.
Me neither.
Ever play Evil?
Never played.
Ever play Eyes?
No.
Eyes is an old classic game that's kind of like in the whole, pretty sure Markiplier and Jacksepticeye played it back in like, 2011, 2012 or 2013.
Okay.
It came from the era of like when everyone was playing, you can just pick a bad horror game and it's going to get 1 million views. The developer took it and it got reworked a little bit, kinda. And then now it has like, I think you could play it on Android, but then it has ads and it has like a whole like cheaper feel to it.
Yeah,
So
you don't like that.
to me it took a nosedive. But I think it is like a D. Faith.
I liked Faith.
Oh, Faith. Okay.
Yeah, that one is New Blood, which is funny because New Blood is known for their boomer shooters, and they have this one horror game under their belt, which is, well, I guess 2. They did a collab with Dread XP at one point.
Okay.
It is very good. It is like DOS style, and it does some really cool stuff with animation. That being said, it's another game that I felt was like, man, this is cryptic and hard to follow. I think it's a lot more competent than some. I would say it's a B.
People really like it. So like reviews are really good.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a play. If you've never played it, definitely play Faith.
Fatum Batula.
Never played.
Dan, we're almost there.
I know, I see it. Oh God.
Fetch in the Forest.
Never played.
And now we've arrived at the original FNAF, and I think we're going to argue.
I am prepared.
I think it's S tier.
I think it's A tier.
Take out everything. I'm not talking about FNAF 2, and FNAF 2 is really when it really like threw down the lore, and the lore started, at least in my eyes, getting out of control.
Sure.
And FNAF 1 was very self-contained. But FNAF 1 was scary in a way that we haven't seen a horror game in a while. Because most of the games coming out at that time was you get to run away from the monster, or you have a gun that you shoot at the monster or whatever while running away.
Yeah.
And there are other games, I think, that existed prior to FNAF where you just sit and the monsters come to you, kind of. I can't think of one right now. There probably exists some. But I think this was the first time that a lot of people experienced it. It was my first time experiencing this, where you sit and you wait. They're coming to get you. You can defend yourself, but don't defend yourself too much. You have to leave that door open. And I think psychologically, it had a good hold on the community. And I think part of that, take out the mascot piece of it, because I think that was a lot of the draw for the younger crowd for like, oh, it's, this animatronic bear, kind of like Chuck E. Cheese, right? And I think no matter what, you're going to get a draw because anything mascot horror related is going to do well with the younger demographic. I've never seen any FNAF developer copy what Freddy does in the original FNAF game. Because Freddy, you leave the door open and he sneaks in, and then he waits until a little later and then he gets you. I've never seen another FNAF game do that. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's strange that that's not a more common thing.
I'm a little stunned, quite frankly.
Because they definitely do, like, I mean, there's been multiple that have their Foxy, right? The one that's like, oh, this guy be coming for you. Better close that door fast.
And I think that's because people don't go back to actually play the original Five Nights at Freddy's enough to, like, I've just never seen it replicated. And someone correct me if I'm wrong that someone's done that before. But I think, and then it led to, like, the community had such a strong reaction.
Just put it in S.
I just needed to make sure I had my, I'll put it under Duck Season for you. I just had.
No. If you're going to put it up there, put it above Duck Season. I disagree that it is S tier, only in the fact that, like, I think the gameplay mechanics, while neat and haven't been done before, like you've been saying, are not finely tuned enough to be a decent experience. I'd like, and that being said, the first time I tried to play FNAF, I closed the game multiple times. I was terrified. I'm no longer like that. I'm filled with rage and cynicism. But I can concede it being S tier.
I mean, you can't ignore what it did to the horror community, you know. To that extent, Amnesia was kind of the same way.
There's just so many better games out there than FNAF. And
well, we're talking
talk-
indie horror, though. That's the thing.
I know. But
you can't be comparing this to like AAA games here, and I don't think you are because you have Duck Season up here, and you feel very strongly about Duck Season.
Yeah, I feel very strong. Like, and that's the thing is like, I'm just gonna concede. I'm not gonna let the anger take me. I'm gonna let it go. Gonna let it go. It's clearly S tier.
I'll think about it because there is the idea of repetitiveness, you know, but. Mm-hmm. I am thinking about like the big picture and maybe we'll come back to it.
We'll come back.
I never played Frambo, but I did see a lot of footage on it years ago, but I don't really even remember that footage.
I would say it's at least high B. I feel like I need to play it if I were to go any higher.
Frosty Nights. You ever play Frosty Nights?
I never did.
Did you ever play Boogeyman? Which is I'm surprised that's not on this list.
I did play Boogeyman.
Frosty Nights is Boogeyman, but with snowmen.
I remember. Okay, I did see someone play this. I thought it looked pretty good.
It might have been me. I don't think many people did touch this thing.
It might have been you.
It was, it was Boogeyman, but with snowmen. I think it's a C. I don't,
Yeah,
I think
it looks solid.
It's fine. It's a C. Golden Light.
I hear it's like a horror prop hunt.
But since I never played it, we're going to have to put it there.
Yeah, we'll have to put it there.
Dude, what are your thoughts on Granny?
I think the gameplay and everything is pretty cool. Otherwise, like, I don't know. It seems like a very low C.
I hate it. I want to put
You hate it?
I hate it, dude, so bad.
Do you want to put it high D?
No,
I don't think it's an F.
It's not an F. It's F to me is like, where's the gameplay? I think a low C, and that's throwing you a bone. But I just never really been into, to me, I don't know if Granny knows what it wants to be. If that makes any sense. I think the puzzles are too much. I know that a lot of people play it. Is it on the phone? It's like a phone game as well.
Yeah, they ported it to the phone,
and then you get ads all the time, and it's like phone games piss me off so much. And I see Granny as the same caliber as a phone game like that. I'm thinking maybe the original Granny. I'll put it in C because it kind of was like the first one, and then it like. I'll talk a little bit more when we get to Ice Cream because Ice Cream is the same way. But like Granny started this whole trend of like this style of like, hey, it's like all these like super like puzzles that are too hard for the demographic that they're shooting for, kind of, but they're aware of that demographic. If that makes any sense, I don't know, man. I just didn't like Granny. Happy's Humble Burger Farm.
I played a good chunk of it. There's a lot more to it than I expected. I definitely think it is B. I don't know if I would put it in A, but it's definitely a solid B.
Dude, Hello Neighbor, what? I don't know. How is Hello Neighbor? How is it still a thing?
I don't know, man.
How is it a thing? Like look, the original concept that they kind of put out there was interesting, and that was like the thing. Like the AI learns as you play, right? And then they put out 7 alphas, 14 betas. They changed everything every single time. There's a TV show now for Hello Neighbor. There's Hello Neighbor 2. I don't know why it's popular. I really don't.
And books. It's got books too. I don't.
And it's
who's buying it?
I think it's a whole bunch of kids who never played the game, but they like the concept. That has to be what it
Sure.
is, because the gameplay, if I'm only looking at the game, and granted, I never played the full game because I was so burnt out from alphas. I want to put it, oh my God. Since it actually became a full game, maybe it's D. Maybe it's not
No.
quite F because there's
No,
some
put it in F.
gameplay. It's,
Put it in F.
oh my God.
No, I mean, is it better than dying of thirst? Maybe,
Yeah.
but like weak.
Hello Puppets.
I never played. It looks fine.
Have you ever played Hide and Shriek?
I've never played Hide and
Dude,
Shriek.
I loved Hide and Shriek so much.
Did you?
I loved it. How do I explain this? So it's a 1v1 game, right?
Okay.
You're both in a wizarding school and you're both invisible. And you have to run around, and it's not like a giant school. Like, it's basically one hallway with like 3 or 4 different rooms on each side, and then a hallway in the middle with a whole bunch of lockers. And the point of the game is you need to go around and scare the other person 3 times, but you're both invisible. So you need to find ways to figure out where they are. So if you're looking and like a locker opens, they're right there. So if you're quick enough, you can jump scare them right there. Right? With the jump scare that you create, and you get more stuff to you get stuff for your jump scare the more you play your game, right? So like you can on your skeleton, I think it's a skeleton as your base, then you can add horns or add whatever. And this was back like 2015, 2016. And so you could get a Trump mask or a Hillary mask, which I'm like, a little political there, but okay.
Yeah.
And you know, it's one of those old 1v1 games that like people had a lot of fun, but I don't think anyone plays it anymore. But Dan, I was good. I was so good. I knew exactly what runes to collect and what spells to make. I was killing it. By the time that I stopped playing, shoot, man, you could not stop me. I loved it, but also I was good. So I honestly am going to put it B. It was a lot of fun when I was playing it. And I don't know if the servers are still up, or if it was server-based, or if it was PV, or if it was like, you know, if you could like connect to another computer and they whatever. I don't know if it's still playable, but it was a lot. I loved the game. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's a good time, like 1v1 with another person. Maybe that'd be fun to play with you if it's still up. I'm gonna.
I know, that's why I was just thinking that exact thing.
Dude, I'm gonna put a pin in it because I'm gonna see after this tier list. Do you ever play House?
From what I've seen, A tier.
Really? Okay. Listen, I'm okay with throwing some A tiers out there.
The gameplay is like, I don't want to say it's groundbreaking, but it is unique, and it feels like there's so much to it. And there's so many different endings. It's a really cool thing to see.
Hungry Lamu.
It's interesting.
It's pretty goofy. I like it. And actually, the developer of this game, I'm forgetting his name, but they released another game called Sea Mongrel. And it's basically an RPG like battle thing where you're 2 characters fighting all of these sea monsters that have gone crazy. And then there's like, this expands on the Hungry Lamu lore that maybe there's a scientist that has been making all these different types of creatures.
Sick.
That and Hungry Lamu actually got an update that actually included more lore of like who is Hungry Lamu. And it's actually a lot cooler than the surface level presents. It's goofy as heck, but I love it.
That seems like a B? Or is it high C?
It's at least high C, which is a great classic 90s drink, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Good. We're right there on the same page.
I think I'm trying, if I take out the other game, Sea Mongrel, and only Hungry Lamu, I'm okay with a high C, and that's just because the lore is pretty cool. I remember this dream. I don't remember this game.
Yeah, I don't remember this game.
Dude, Ice Cream, freaking hate it. It's the same thing as Granny, except there's how many, hold on, I'm gonna look this up. How many ice creams are there? Do you know this game?
I feel like I might know it through. Did you play it?
I played it.
I feel like I watched you play it.
Mm-hmm. Do you know how many games there are in the series?
10?
7, with an 8th one coming soon.
My God.
It just kind of throws you in the game, and you got to figure out what to do. At least I had to figure out what to do. You know, it has the same feel. I know it has like, it's like ported to like the phone where it has ads and you can like potentially spend money to like increase your thing, whatever. It's a D for me. I think it's one of those concepts that's like, you know, it aims at like younger kids who like the idea of the game and YouTubers playing. this game, but they don't play themselves. But I hate it. I don't like it. See, I would even put Granny lower, but I'll give Granny a benefit of the doubt here. But Ice Cream, this came after Granny. I'm so sure it's one of those. It's like came off of the Granny train with the same sort of like puzzle idea, but for Ice Cream, you had to like go in the back of his truck to go different places. To get what you needed to get, and then get back into his truck and whatever. I don't like it.
Whatever.
I'm Scared. I watched the original I'm Scared that like Markiplier played a way back when, but I think it was remade a few years back.
Steam version is spectacular. I'm down with A. I think in some cases some might say it is S. Maybe not. With some retrospect, maybe not.
Infliction.
Don't know.
Did you ever play Inscription? Because the stuff that I've seen looks really, really cool, especially once I learned it is more than a card game.
So, I definitely bought Inscription cards, physical Inscription cards. Yeah, it's S.
Is it S?
For me, it's S. Not only is it like really creepy and like in some places, and the lore is fantastic. The card game, the deck building game is so well put together, and then they even went as far as making a in-game quote unquote mod that just lets you play Act 1 over and over and over again like a roguelike. It's
like a roguelike.
Yeah, it's spectacular.
Cool. It's hard to like throw together a card game and make it like function like that.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite games. I mean, obviously, I bought freaking physical cards.
You bought Inscription cards. That tells me a lot.
I put it above FNAF. But that's just me.
Here, while we're at it, I'm gonna put FNAF below Inscription. How's that?
Yes, I'm in it.
All right, cool. Inside the Backroom. So I just looked this up because there's like a billion Backrooms games. Apparently, this is a co-op up to 4-player Backrooms game, and I've never played a Backrooms game like that.
I haven't played it yet.
Okay, we're gonna have to put down here. Inside.
I've never played, and I feel ashamed to say that. I have it. I've been wanting to play it forever, and I just have never gotten around to it.
Gotcha. So Iron Lung, that's the one where you're in a sub and you go down, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I never played it, but everyone talked about it following the tragedy that happened a few months ago.
Yeah.
Everyone kept comparing it to it, and I'm like, okay.
It's good enough for Markiplier to want to make a movie out of it. I honestly think it's B.
Okay.
I would say A tier, but like, you've got to want to play that slow. Because the gameplay is move sub to place, do sonar, look at thing.
Gotcha.
It's pretty slow, but it's incredibly interesting.
It is like kind of experience and like the horror of you being in a sub under the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Next up is It Steals.
I like it. I thought it was really good. I think it's probably low B.
Okay.
It's got a lot of content in there. It's really interesting, and it's difficult in a way that doesn't feel unfair.
Last Bus Home.
I've seen it played. It looks like a solid D.
Yeah, it strikes me as something that would be kind of that D level, a la Almost Home Now, Burgers and Frights, whatever. Layers of Fear.
I've never played.
Never played either, but I always hear good things. It's probably going to be something that's going to end up B or A.
I think it's on the level of Amnesia, I feel. So it probably would be A, but like, I can't speak to it.
That's the problem. Yeah. I mean, people love Layers of Fear. People talk about it all the time, from what I see. Do you ever play the full version of Lenny Boog?
I think it's a solid C.
Okay. Because I played the demo, and the demo was like, whatever, but I never played the full game. So if I was going to say, like, it was just the demo, it would probably be D, because it was like an unfinished demo. Not an unfinished demo. Let me backtrack. It's a demo that was like more of an alpha, don't expect really an ending kind of thing.
Got it.
So, okay, I'm cool with it being a C. Leftovers.
The art style is really cool.
I mean, it looks like a woman who wants to eat you and then has leftovers. Is that pretty accurate?
Not quite.
Oh,
It's
okay.
kind of more messed up.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
It's definitely a solid C. I don't think it's robust enough to break up to B, but definitely a solid C. Definitely put it. You know what? Now I'm looking at it. Granny has to go to D.
Thank you.
Granny has got to go. Granny's got to go.
Because I mean, look what we have in C.
Yeah, no,
like
you're right.
Solid games that are like, yeah, it's a pretty good game, and then Granny just can't do it, man. I don't even know what this is.
Oh, LiDAR. I think I saw it played, but I don't know if it's the right one. I'm comfortable saying never played, never watched.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Remember Limbo?
Oh, I love Limbo.
I love Limbo too. I think it's hard to compare because it's a very old game.
It is a very old game.
It's like 2010-ish, even like it was in the era at least after, because you can I downloaded it on my PlayStation Vita when I like got an old Vita, and I saw on the App Store like, oh, you can play Limbo and get trophies on this. Okay, cool.
I think I played it on my Xbox 360. Yeah, it was originally an Xbox 360. This was the like beginning of the indie game boom. It was like Limbo and Braid were like two of the big ones I remember. Braid's a great game. Everyone go play Braid. Limbo, it's A. And even then, like, I mean, it's high A. I'd put it.
You would put it high A.
I would put it in front of or above Doki Doki.
You would put it above Doki Doki.
It's a robust game. The atmosphere is creepy and unsettling. It's got a very vague, interesting story.
You know what? I can't speak to it because I can't really remember the story, can I?
Yeah.
It's it's simplistic, but that's a good...
Yeah.
It's simple in a good way.
I mean, here's the thing. I do think it should be above Amnesia.
Wow. Okay. You have more knowledge than I do. I'm going to put it in between because...
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
That's fair. All right. Little Nightmares.
It's very, very good. It's a very again, another really interesting story. It's definitely A tier. I'm uncomfortable putting it S tier, though I do think some people would argue it is. Compared to like what we have up there already.
I could see that. I agree with you from what I know of the game and what I've seen from the game. Did you ever play Lone Survivor?
No, it looks really good, but never played.
Mad Father.
I think I know I've watched it, but I don't remember enough to like slot it in somewhere.
It kind of looks RPG.
It is in one of those.
Yeah. What the hell is this? What is Madison?
I heard that one was awful.
Really?
But I've never played.
Right. It looks like it could go either way. You know what I mean? Mannequins looks horrifying because no one likes mannequins.
Yeah, but never played.
Midnight Evil. Do you ever play Midnight Evil?
I never played that one.
I am 90% sure. I am so sure it's made by the same developers as 123 Slaughter Me Street. And it reminds me a lot of Boogeyman. What's this? The story's pretty goofy. That all these like little imp trolls have been released from this book that you opened. And again, I could be getting some of the details wrong. They've been unleashed from this book, and to put them back in the book or to like get rid of them, you have to read through the book. But while you're reading the book, they're trying to like come in and try to attack you. It does have a cool little thing where you can connect it to your voice, like your microphone, and you can read through the book yourself, like actively like read through it, which I think is a really cool idea, but I never did it, and I kind of want to do it now, maybe for a live stream or something. So in that regard, I think it is better than 123 Slaughter Me Street, but I think it's still in the C range.
Okay, I'm down for that.
But it is really cool, and it's a really, really neat idea in that regard. You know what I mean? Monstrum.
I still haven't played it.
Monstrum's pretty good. Monstrum is pretty good. I think it does fall in the B. It is really hard for me, but I've had friends who like, they're really good at Monstrum. And Monstrum is one of those games that like, it still scares me. You know, when you boil it down to its like its most simple nature, it's actually a pretty basic game, but it does those basics very well. So
All
I'm going to
right.
put it in the B. Some people might move it up even into the A, I think, but I think for me, B is an okay place for it. The Mr. Hop's Playhouse series has always been an interesting one, but if I'm thinking the original Mr. Hop's Playhouse, which I don't remember very well, because I think it takes place in modern day, more or less, and your grandma is gone, she passed away or something, and she gave you the rabbit, but then, oh no, the rabbit's evil. I think it's a fine, I think it's high, I think it's a good gatekeeper, maybe into C. It may be a low C. It's between D and C to me.
I would put it at a low C.
I
think that's the. I don't like putting it in D.
I agree with you. I agree because it feels weird to put it in D.
Yeah.
Because part of it is like, you know, I'm comparing it like with Mr. Hop's Playhouse 2 and Mr. Hop's Playhouse 3, which are better, I think. And like more intricate, and then you get more of the lore, and the lore becomes pretty goofy. And man, I love. Do you ever play Mr. Hop's Playhouse 3?
It's been on my list to play those games, and I have not gotten around to it.
You should play it. Mr. Hop's Playhouse 3 kind of feels like if they made a horror game for the N64 that's like polygraphs.
Oh, cool.
Or the
polygraphs.
What word am I searching for?
Polygons.
Polygons.
Yeah, I love some polygons.
Yes, exactly. Never played Mr. Meat.
Nope.
Looks gross. Mr. White.
Did you play that?
Mm-mm. If I have, I don't remember it. Mundawn.
Nope.
No idea. Now here I have Murder House, which is Puppet Combo.
No, I didn't end up playing this, but it looks like I remember seeing someone play like the intro, and it looks really good.
I remember watching gameplay. Hi, Sophie. Sophie, you want to do a tier list?
Yeah, get in here, Sophie.
Murder House, I'm going to put at a low B. I think it's
sounds good.
I think in a lot of ways it is better than some of these others in the C, but I don't know if it reaches some of the other ones up here. My Beautiful Paper Smile looks pretty interesting.
I can't speak to it though. That's the thing.
That's fair. My Happy Place I've played, but I don't remember it. Did I play this? Oh, maybe I didn't. But it's a short walking simulator for the liminal Space Jam in 4 days. I think I played this. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I'm going to put it in D because I can. Okay. I'm pretty sure I can peg it for what it is. And if I'm wrong, people can just yell at me in the comment section like they've been doing already. That's fine.
Great.
But I'm going to put it in like your typical like. And again, it's a walking simulator. You know what? I'm going to put it. You know what? I'm going to put never played, never watched because I don't know if it's worth F.
That's hard to say.
Night Blights. That's a throwback.
Never played that one.
I think it's a solid C. It's one of those you play as a young child and you have to keep the night blights away. Every night you get out of your crib because you read a little bit more from your book about the night blights, and then you just go around the house trying to keep them away. It's been a while since I played it, but I think that's still it builds upon itself kind of thing. Like Emily wants to play 123 Slaughter Me Street, so I think it's fine. Kind of in that it was made in that era of 123 Slaughter Me Street. Emily wants to play that kind of stuff. No One Lives Under the Lighthouse, which, quite frankly, sounds like a lie.
Yeah. So I don't know though. I don't know.
No players online.
I've seen it played. It seems interesting. I don't feel like I can talk about it though.
Gotcha. No Snake Hotel, the 2-minute horror game that actually has a fun little ending.
I've never played. It's
a short game. It's just like you walk into a hotel and the whole thing is like there's pictures everywhere that are like, hey, there's no snakes here. Hey, the number one. Is it, or is that just the headcanon that I've given it? A lot of there's paper notes that you find that are like, this is the best hotel ever. Don't worry, there's no snakes. And then at the very end, you get like a little baby snake jump scare, and then it's a giant snake jump scare that like comes out of nowhere and like wrecks the entire hotel and eats you. But it is short. I think I think it's funny and like silly. I think it's like the lowest C you could possibly give it. And that's only because it's goofy.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
It might be like, there's not a lot of substance there, but the ending is fun. I'm going to put it high D because
okay.
It's goofy, which makes me enjoy it. Like it's a D game that you should play.
Okay. Sounds good.
And
I'm
even
down
that
with
makes me feel weird putting it in D, but whatever.
Mhm.
Especially how much we love Choo Choo Charles, and Choo Choo Charles isn't even on this list.
Oh, shit. What
Which,
the hell?
where would you put Choo Choo Charles?
Choo Choo Charles?
B, at least. Maybe, oh man.
I put low B. Low
I
B.
think so. Yeah, okay. All right, just throw
Low
that
B.
out there. Just making sure we're on the same page here. Observer System Redux?
Don't know.
Omori.
I haven't played it yet. I've heard it's really good.
I like the art style.
It covers a lot of, from my understanding, mental health in a sort of earthbound sort of way.
I like that idea. What about Our Elusive Suffering? I like this amalgamation thing.
Never mind. Never seen it. Okay, never mind.
Outlast. This.
It is my favorite horror game.
I'm okay with putting this S.
Great. I love to hear that. I want to put it as so bad.
It does such a good job at throwing you in and with like constant good scares and ambiance.
And it's really what Amnesia was cranked up to 11.
Definitely, I think it's worth that spot. Pacify. And I just realized I'm confusing Pacify a little bit with Devour.
Yeah, same. I never played.
But I think Pacify is in the same boat, that it does have DLCs that come out for it, but they're still, I think it's at literally the same level as Devour.
Okay.
Because
let's do it.
Well, first of all, I'm confusing both of them constantly, which tells you something. But all the maps that are for Devour, you have to play with friends, and they're good games in their own right. And Pacify, they're both goofy in a way, but they're both scary. But you also have to, they're good multiplayer games to have fun with some friends.
Yeah.
Don't play it alone. I've seen Pen Pal before, and I almost played it maybe for a 3RG, but I don't know. Have you played this one?
I have not.
Yeah. I wish, this is something I feel like I should have played. Dude, Phasmophobia.
Dude, we can't not put Phasmophobia in either A or B. It's constantly getting updates. It's significantly harder now. Significantly.
Because you have to be, because you have people like Jay who are like taunting the ghosts in order to like get through the game, which, what a bold guy to me.
Yeah. I would put it, let's put it low A.
I like the dev team know what they're doing, and it's never had like a big issue. So from a development standpoint, it's been great. You ever play Pink?
Nope.
Remember Play With Me?
I've never played that one. It sounds familiar, but
so when things started to get a little bit more into VR, so it's a short game. It's pretty spooky in VR because you're walking around this kind of a smaller house, and like there's a clown that I think the point is not to look at the clown. Don't look at the clown. You're fine. I think it's a low C.
All right, sure.
It's pretty short. Like it's hovering. Is it more than it's kind of like the same thing as No Snake Hotel. It's like a 5-minute game that you should play.
Okay.
But they could have gone so much more. All
right, let's put it there for now.
I'm gonna put No Snake and maybe like low C. It's just it's bothering me keeping it in D.
Yeah, because D is when we go like
D is like there is a problem with it, not about length. I need to take length out of it. These are goofy games. This is a walk. No Snake Hotel is more of a walking simulator, and Play With Me is definitely better than No Snake Hotel from like a gameplay perspective. But No Snake is just kind of like a goofy experience.
I think that's fair. Like I think D there has to be a fundamentally wrong piece. Something completely wrong with it. Or not completely, but just not right. I
don't know what to do with this next one.
If we're going to consider all of the chapters for Bendy, we have to consider all of the chapters for Poppy.
Right. That's what I was thinking. And, we don't know what chapter 3 is going to be like, but I feel very confident about chapter 3 from what I've seen from the trailers and what is being. And again, I'm removing all of the background developer stuff.
Yeah. We have to. Otherwise, like if we took into account of all the developer thing, it would be like it would knock it down to a D.
It would, because there's so much crap surrounding that and so many bad decisions.
Yeah.
So looking at the game itself.
If we're looking at just the game, it is an A. personally for me, it like the grab pack mechanic is so smooth.
It's pretty cool.
It functions so well.
I do like the grab pack mechanic. It does function well. And quite frankly, they did a good job including the grab pack in their multiplayer game.
It's just at the end of the day, like I know how like crappy the devs have been through the entire thing. And it's so hard to be like, you don't want to support, but you support, you know?
If you're looking at it from purely a gameplay perspective, they know what they are doing, especially after playing Chapter 2. They did a good job with Chapter 2. Chapter 1 is fine, and it's kind of like Benny the Ink Machine. It's almost like introducing what this is going to be about.
Yeah.
Like Chapter 1 is an introduction. And they did a good job with the character design. Huggy Wuggy I think it's a good character design. It's scary and appealing.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Okay, moving on. Pylons.
Don't know.
The Rake. You ever play the Rake?
Nah, I never played the Rake.
You go out there, you kill the Rake, but you also have to know what you're doing, play with friends, and then eventually take down the Rake.
Oh, okay. I've seen someone play it. Okay.
Rattas.
Nope.
Do you ever play Romut?
Nope.
I know for a fact, given what you've played and not played or watched, you've never heard of Room Before the Dark.
I don't think I have.
Room Before the Dark is, I think, oh man.
Is it the little thing where the bunny, like there's a little pink bunny and he tells you to go grab a bunch of stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's a D.
Yeah, it's a funny little stupid game,
Yeah.
It's just goofy.
It's goofy. It's not C tier because there's not a whole lot of there's a short game with substance and then there's a short game with not a whole lot of substance and that was that.
Exactly. Psycho no Sutoka.
I watched a lot of it.
Let me think, because I played it a few times. It is a little aggravating and you do need to understand the character and the AI to really dig into the game. So in that regard, it's kind of hard. I think maybe it would end up being a C.
I mean, looking at some of the stuff that we have in C, I'm down to put it also in C.
It's I would say a high C. I think it's a high C, maybe even
get some high C, man.
Man, do they still make high C? I can't remember the last time I've seen a high C.
We'll go check a Pizza Hut. I only remember high C being at Pizza Huts for some reason. Pizza Huts, man. Yeah.
All right. The more I look at it, now let's leave it high C.
Yeah, sure.
Someone's gonna be mad at me, but that's okay. Sally Face.
I don't know if I can really talk to it. It seems fine.
SCP-087.
087. That's just the stairs. I put it at a D.
It's got to be a low D. It's stairs.
Yeah. The thing is, it's like it does a great job taking the SCP-087 and doing and putting it to a medium like you can play, but like at the same time, it's just. It is a lot of stairs.
Oh, dude, SCP Containment Breach.
Containment Breach has got to be either a B or an A.
Dude, it's up there. I think it might be A just because it kept adding on to it even after I had attempted playing it. Yeah. I really do think it is in the A realm.
I'm down to put it in A.
I think it deserves the A spot, quite frankly. It's really cool to see Shipwreck 64 on this list.
It's really cool to see Shipwreck 64 on this, for sure.
You've played a more updated version than I have.
Yes.
But even the version that was public that I played, in depth, it's really cool. It does some jump scares that you don't expect. It's very analog horror-ish. I would put it at the same level of like B.
Yeah, I mean, it should go right next to Andy's Apple Farm.
I agree. Slenderman the game. I know exactly which one this is.
Siren Head?
Whatever. Siren Head. Slenderman's cousin. Kind of.
I don't know which one it's talking about. So.
I can look at this art style. I know which one it's talking about. It's just a fine it's a fine Siren Head game. It just is. And
okay.
If it didn't have the Siren Head bit of it, and just replace it with a different monster, same game. There's a monster that's kind of stalking you, or like, oh, there's something off in the distance. I keep hearing stuff and then run away. I just remember these colors. I remember like just the way it looks. It was a very definitive Siren Head basic game. Now we do have Slender the 8 Pages.
You want to put it up there.
I'm tempted to put it up there.
I can't put it as an A though.
You can't put it as an A?
I don't like.
I was thinking
the gameplay,
almost S. Like,
but it's go get 8 pages. Yeah,
it's go get 8 pages. But there's something It's hard for me to put my finger on it. But every time I've played the game, even now, it's scary. It's the scariness holds up.
Okay.
And I don't know what it is about it that makes it hold up.
I will say though, I've really only watched it, and I feel like playing it would be a different experience. Yeah, put it in an A. Put it in an A. I think it's an A.
Because I'm also considering a little bit what it did for the community. It's kind of the same thing as SCP Containment Breach, so I'll put it at a low A. How's that? I think that's a fair compromise.
I think that's fair. I think that's very fair.
I don't know what to do. This is either a D or an F.
I never played, so I defer to you.
Everything 2 and onward is like a weird high D because of like it's pretty silly.
Sure, okay.
Slinty Tubbies,
but like the original.
The original was a giant forest map that was too big. You have a Slinty Tubby T-posing at you slowly. When it sees you, its scream was way too loud. And it doesn't run at you. It T-poses at you. You know what I mean?
Sounds like a solid F to me. It's
a goofy game to like play for a minute and then that's it. But yeah, if you're going to play Slinty Tubbies, play Slinty Tubbies 3. I never got around to playing Soma. And I'm surprised that this is an indie game. Is this an indie game?
It is. It's if I remember correctly, it's the same studio that did Amnesia. If we cannot talk to it, I don't think we should rank it.
Oh, you can't talk to it.
I can't really. I only played a little bit of it, but because I was looking for like jump scares, I didn't get very far into it.
I feel comfortable that it would end up being on an A, but like you said.
Oh, I think it's definitely an A. I know a lot of people that say it's their favorite game.
Gotcha.
Or one of their favorite games.
Gotcha.
I'm like, damn.
But good old Spacky's Night Shift. I played this game 3 different times just because it was goofy.
I think I saw you play this one.
It's a pretty goofy experience. It's definitely a D because it's one of those, it's like, it's goofy, but it has a lot of things wrong with it. Yeah, that's, there's not much to say about it other than it's pretty goofy. That's all. Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion.
That's an A for me. Easy.
It's that perfect mix of like horror and cute,
Yes.
Like it's scary, but doesn't take itself seriously, but it will scare you.
Yeah, I think it's great.
I think it's a fantastic mix of different things for sure.
And the final level is so like the final DLC is so good.
Yes, it is. Yes, I don't know why it took so long to come out, but yes, it is. Stray Cat Crossing, any idea?
No.
I don't remember much about Tattletale.
I remember watching it. It seems like a solid C.
I think so. It was kind of in that era of a lot of like decent C games, coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it fits right at home with your Emily Wants to Play. And
it does. It does. Yeah, absolutely. Tenement, no idea.
No idea.
What iterate? Because the baby in yellow is constantly evolving.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot in that game now.
Because the Black Cat update, ups it a whole new level.
I've never actually played the whole thing through.
It's pretty solid. Hold on, let me look at what we have here, and where it really does fit. Because I honestly think by the time it's fully done, it's going to be Amanda the Adventurer. I think it's up. I really do think it's A.
Okay.
With how it is now. With the Black Cat update makes me say A. I think otherwise it would be a B, but the Black Cat update had so much to it and really polished a lot of things and really added a lot to the lore in the story. The lore has been formed. And the Black Cat update explores that lore effectively, I think. So I'm going to put it an A. If it was an earlier iteration, I would have put it probably B.
Yeah, I think it's a very it's very solid, but the new updates take it to a completely different level
for sure.
Especially as a puzzle solving thing.
Yes,
it's solid.
Backroom survival.
I don't know.
Know anything about the Coma Cutting Glass?
Nope.
The Complex Found Footage?
Nope.
Do you remember the Crooked Man? Because that's an RPG maker.
That's another RPG maker. I remember that one a little bit more than I do Mad Father. It's pretty creepy.
I'm gonna put it in the
It
C because it reminds me a lot of the AO Oni, and maybe that's because it's like, oh, the RPG makers are just kind of chilling over here. But I
Yeah.
remember it being a very creepy game from the gameplay
Yeah.
I've watched. The Crypt Terror.
Nope.
Oh, the Designer's Curse. The Designer's Curse was made by a young kiddo. He's older now. Like this was a kid that he made a couple like FNAF related games or a couple horror games that people were blown away because he was 12. And he did a good job with them. And this is his like a game of his that's like unique, but I don't remember it.
I don't know. I don't know it, but that's a fascinating story. My God.
I'm gonna have to put it in the never watched, never played, but I know I've played it before.
Yeah.
But I cannot remember for the life of me. The Floor is Breathing.
Nope.
The Forest. Is that The Forest? The Forest?
I heard it's really good. I just haven't played it.
I don't know what to think about it because I haven't like really played it. The Heel Walled Loophole.
I saw Markiplier play this one. This looks fascinating.
Really?
It does not look it, but it is fascinating. It does a lot with like time loops and like many different directions that you can take the story. I would say it is either like a low B or high C. I think it goes right next to Murder House.
Where did I put Murder House?
Like, because I haven't seen the whole thing, unless like the ending really drops the ball, I think it is solid all the way through.
Okay. All right, cool. The Horror of the Salazar House.
Nope.
The Man from the Window.
S.
I mean, Thick Furries alone.
S tier. B for big, I guess.
I do think it's maybe a C.
I think it's a C. You know, we came for the thickness and we stayed for the game.
That's about right. Honestly, it escapes kind of being a D just because it's a little bit more polished, but I think it's a low C.
Yeah. I think it's a low C. It's a short experience, it's a quick experience, but the thing is it's polished and there's no like really like there's nothing really terribly negative you can say about it unless you're not into thick furry, I guess.
Brother. S tier.
Oh man, the comments are gonna love that. All right, great, perfect, thank you.
The Mortuary Assistant. I was terrified of playing this game because of all the issues the other YouTubers were having.
I played it. It's great.
I love it. It is amazingly fantastic.
It's really well done. The scares are very good. It's still being updated.
So it's definitely up there. So it sounds like it may be teetering in the A realm.
Yeah, I would say A, like low A.
Did you play The Nightmare of the Air Balloon?
No.
So
I think I've heard. Wait, have I?
You didn't. It's an F.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I did. It is an F. Worse than Dying of Thirst. Because here's the game. First of all, it's. Do you ever get those eye tests that you look into kind of like a telescope, and then there's like either a house or an air balloon in the distance, and it like, you know, and then you like it figures out like what your level of eyeglass need is.
I remember watching this game now. Yeah.
It's a horror game. Yeah, it's a horror game based on that kind of, but you just walk in a straight line and there's an air balloon, and then you look on the other side of the air balloon and there's the face. And then you wake up from the dream you've been having, and then you look behind you. Oh no, it's the air balloon, and then the game ends. And so I don't know why it's on this list, but it is an F.
Okay.
So, I mean, goofy points for making a game out of the eye test, but you didn't even use the eye test piece of it, you know. The Park, I did like. It's more story-driven for a game for what it is.
I've never played that one.
Yeah, it's worth a playthrough, but don't go in thinking it's going to be the most terrifying experience. It's more of a story that, where would I put this? I think it's it's kind of a low B. Maybe it's a higher B. I think Among the Sleep is better. The park's kind of hard because it's a horror game, but it's very story driven. There's a lot of walking to it while it's telling a story.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, no, I think I would say either low B or high C, maybe.
Yeah, I think I got to go high C, honestly.
All right.
Like, I like it, but I think it's just missing a lot. The Smiling Man.
I like it. I think it's solid C.
Cool. Solid C.
It is pretty quick, but it does have that sort of like PS1 sort of creepiness to it.
Sure.
The character's kind of goofy in a very unsettling way, and I like it.
What about The Upturned? I don't know what this is.
I have no idea.
Now, The Witch's House seems to be kind of like the gold standard for what is RPG Maker.
Yeah, I just recently played it, like I think last year.
How you feeling?
It goes right next to the other ones. It's good. The story is the true ending is uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable in this like I can't believe this is happening.
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm actually getting goosebumps thinking about it. Holy
They Speak from the Abyss.
Nope.
Remember Tamor?
I have played. It is
It's just kind of
It is a game.
Yeah, it's a game. I think it's better than some of the Fs. It's got some gameplay, but it's a walking simulator with jump scares.
Yeah.
So it's just it just exists in the D realm. Tunky?
I don't think I actually ever played Tunky.
And this is one of those things that I'm a little biased, but it's falling maybe low C. It just it is, and it's got a little bit more substance than some of the Ds, but I think it really is kind of like a low C. Uncle Panko's Terrible Little Farm.
I did play that. It's delightful and creepy, and probably one of my favorite like Let's Play episodes I did on the channel I don't post to anymore.
Oh, nice.
I think it's a C.
Okay.
It's low on the C, but it is definitely a C.
Gotcha. You ever play The Uninvited?
Nope.
Unsorted VHS, which looks interesting, actually.
No, I have not.
Is Vanish what I think it is?
I'm down to put it in a D.
I think it is D because it's one of those. It might be a high D.
Sure.
That's fine. Vapor?
Nah, no idea.
Just to knock it out, Yume Nikki. Did you do this one?
Nope.
These two I actually do know. Do you know Visage?
Visage, I haven't gotten around to play it, but I hear it's the spiritual successor to PT.
I disagree. I do disagree. It's fine for a game. For a game like that, it's scary. It scares the hell out of you. But it's not PT. PT did something to the indie genre that was like nutty good. Like PT, if we're talking PT being like A, this would maybe be low A, but even then, I had some trouble figuring out where to go and what to do. It's not very obvious to me, so I would maybe put it low A. I would maybe even consider B, but people seem to really, really do like it, so I'm going to take that into a consideration.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, if we're talking PT is like upwards of like high A, maybe even S.
I would put PT in S.
Okay, Zardy's Maze.
I've never played. I've been told to play it many times.
It's fine. It's good. I think it's a solid C. It's a maze. It is challenging. I think it's balanced fine, but I struggle to beat it. I haven't beaten it. I struggle to beat it. I think it's honestly, I think it's a solid C in there. It's definitely better than a lot of the Ds that we're seeing. It is a fine game. Great. It is a fine game. I don't know if it reaches the realm of B, and I know there's a Zardy's Maze 2 being worked on.
Ooh.
So yeah. And that's all 150.
Jesus. We got through it. We did it.
It took 2.5 hours, but we did it.
Oh man. Do what I do. My favorite part about this is I am actually excited to see the comments to be like, well, I'm not going to like the ones that are like, I can't believe they put Duck Seas in S, but they're wrong.
I want people to yell at me for Five Nights at Freddy's. That's gonna be a whole thing.
I'm excited to see what ones people say that we have to play, to be honest, because we put a lot in that haven't played.
We did put a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63. So we did 90 something, like 97, I think, if my math is correct. No, maybe my math is wrong. Anyways, we did mostly in the actual pile.
I feel very good about, I don't know if we need to, I think maybe we shouldn't go through and like properly rank them, but I think I'm really happy with our S tier.
I'm happy with the S tier. I'm happy across the board. There might be one or two that we should have maneuvered, but you know what? I'm happy with it.
The one thing I would maybe argue is maybe we do need to put Amanda the Adventurer down a bit more now that seeing like Amanda and Dread Delusion.
Mm-hmm.
Dread Delusion might need to go down to a B.
Where's Dread Delusion?
I think I may have oversold it.
Dread Delusion. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think it is underrated, and I think people should go check it out. But maybe not as maybe not A tier compared to what's sitting next to it. I like that though. That's a good list.
It's a good list. We're missing a few things. Choo Choo Charles. The sheer fact that Garten of Ban exists would, you got to throw that in D somewhere. There's so much to indie horror, and this is 150, and we're still noticing how much is missing. So this is a good kind of like start. Maybe I'll find another one in the future that maybe even, we just build upon that. But quite frankly, I have been wanting to do a tier list of mascot horror games in recent years.
Yeah.
A la Poppy Playtime, a la Garten of Ban, but we'll get there when we get there.
I'll tell you one thing though. I'm just happy to see that Boofy's Bunker was on the list.
The fact that Boofy's Bunker ended up on this list makes me happy.
Yeah, whoever created this tier list went through a lot of trouble to make all these icons, and so my hat off to you, my tiniest of hats, right off to you. But overall, good. I feel very good about this.
It's pretty solid. Good stuff, man.
All right, bye.